Joining us now with stories trending around the world is a representative of Anambra State from Ogidi community. Anaeze Osakwe.
Wow, every day I wonder.
I'm just giving empirical facts.
Right?
Yes.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
That was one of the most genuine laughters I've heard in recent. Like, I think you were too shocked. You were like,
I couldn't help myself.
Well done.
How are you?
Annie, morning.
Good morning, Rufai. How are you doing?
Ogidi has given us two people I know.
Who?
The first, Chinua Achebe. The second is the pride of Ogidi.
It's a great place.
There are more people from Ogidi.
More than us.
That I know.
That you know.
I qualified it.
But don't let's waste time
Yes.
with a long list of the heroes of Ogidi now.
Exactly.
How many people from Ogidi?
One of many. One of many. One of many.
You won't start this.
Okay, let me just start. Okay, so good morning to everyone out there. Thank you all for starting your day with us. And we start what's trending today with reactions trailing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration yesterday, basically stating that states and local governments need to be a lot more independent than they currently are. So speaking at the 14th National Caucus meeting of the APC, his party, at the State House Conference Center in Abuja, the president said state police are a must to improving internal security, but he took it a step further, revealing that he personally told our U.S. and European allies that the APC would make state police happen. Let's watch.
I had a very long discussion with the U.S. and European. I was bragging to them that definitely we will pass a state police to improve security. They asked me if I'm confident, and I said yes. I have a party to depend on. I have a party that will make it happen.
Meanwhile, the president made a second key point at this meeting, insisting that local government autonomy has to work in practical terms, as he called on governors to stop withholding or diverting local government allocations. According to the president, a strong local government equals a stable community. Let's watch.
The local government autonomy, it is and must be effective. Let us give them. There is no autonomy without funded mandates. We'll give them their money directly. That's the truth. That's compliance with the Supreme Court.
Clearly, autonomy is the name of the game here, and I'll take some quick reactions before coming to you, Dr. Abati. The first reaction is a tweet from Abdul Rahman. It says that Tinubu's push for state police and local government autonomy could be a game changer for Nigeria's security and governance if the governors actually back it up. Bold call. A second tweet from Dara said, low-key, this is one of those sounds good on paper, let's see if you'll actually deliver moments. State police and real local government autonomy could change the game if it's not just political PR. Decentralize power, empower communities, and stop playing monopoly with people's lives. And a key word that stood out to me in that last tweet is just the word deliver. This isn't the first time that the president has said that state police should become a reality. Is this any different? Why is this significant?
Okay, number one, with regard to state police, constitutional amendment will be required. What we have on the ground at this moment is that, look, we have all the 36 states having agreed to having the idea of state police. And the president, I imagine, was talking within the context of ensuring security, national security, and his expressed commitment to ensuring that everyone is safe within this environment. Now, in trying to respond to that challenge, he had said only most recently that the National Assembly, should go ahead by way of directive, to ensure that states that are ready, out of all the ones that have endorsed state police, along with the principle of federalism, should go ahead and establish state police. So it's a living subject, which he himself has been dealing with since he was governor in Lagos State. But the residual point is about how, you control the state police, who will fund the state police, how would we ensure enough accountability, particularly on the state, on the part of the state governors, to ensure that they do not use the state police as political tools. Examples have been given from other jurisdictions that no, it works elsewhere, it can work here if the political will is there and the commitment is there. Now, on the issue of local government autonomy, again, this is an issue that President Tinubu is familiar with. When he was governor of Lagos State, he created what you call local council development agencies, I think.
LCDAs.
Areas, LCDAs, increasing the number of local councils. And he had a battle with President Obasanjo's administration over this expansion of governance at the local council level. But when he talks about local government autonomy, there are two issues. One is constitutional. Section 2 of the 1999 Constitution, you can double check it. You can, as Rufai said, you can fact check me. Says that the Nigerian Federation is made up of states and the federal government. So there's an argument there that, look, these states, they are not recognized, these local councils, they are not recognized under Section 2. Now, when you go to Section 162, in one of the subsections there, I think subsection 4, there is still the issue of state joint local government allocation committees, which the states use to suppress the local councils. So that creates a problem. So when he talks about local government autonomy, although there is a Supreme Court ruling that says these local councils should get their allocations directly, then you still have that constitutional, issue that has not been resolved. And that's what the states rely upon to continue to cheat the local councils, apart from the politics of it, where these state governors have constituted themselves into overlords in their states, and they think that the local councils are beholden to them. Then the remaining point is one of irony, which is in Osun State. The same President Tinubu who is talking about local government autonomy has been holding on to allocation to Osun State local councils since February. But that issue is not even legal. It's, well, there's an aspect of it that is legal. It's political. It's political. Because the issue is about who are the legitimate winners of local council elections, which local council election in Osun State is the legitimate and the valid one. So that issue, the fact that they have not resolved it since February is also an ironical point, because President Tinubu now comes across like he's championing the cause of local councils. Why is he not championing the cause of local councils in Osun State? So there's a conflict between law and politics here in terms of his own affirmation.
You've been chiming in.
So with due respect, Dr. Abati, you can fact check me on this. There are many things that President Tinubu championed when he was governor, but today he's president, he's got 360 over it. One part of them was the the lottery one yesterday. The central gaming rule that when under his administration, somebody was championing, trying to challenge the federal might. But once once Lagos became associated with the federation, the federal might, they want to usurp it.
No, but only if he assents, though. So he hasn't assented.
Only if but the National Assembly has passed it.
He hasn't assented.
So that's where we are pushing
the online gaming bill.
Yes.
But isn't it an aberration that something that has been determined by the Supreme Court, the National Assembly went to make
that's a national
but that has nothing to do with President Tinubu. He cannot dictate to the National Assembly.
I mean, okay, I know. You are.
Oh, do you approve that he dictated to the National Assembly?
I think you are waiting your ministerial position. So you see these days I won't challenge you.
Don't use it against Dr. Abati. He wants to serve the
let him use it against him.
What did he say?
Fact is fact.
What did he say?
Opinion is free.
He said, do you have proof that President Tinubu dictates to the National Assembly? Let me remind you now.
On the online gaming bill.
Wait.
No,
let me remind you real quickly.
You said that
we're discussing the online gaming bill.
Doctor, but let me remind you.
Shebi,
you were the one on this table.
Yes.
That was repudiating the National Assembly pastor over Fubara's matter. That you were even talking with both sides of the matter as you look the Supreme Court ruling. But it's good.
With both sides of the matter. Has anyone questioned my analysis of Ajetaba law?
No, Doctor, but the truth is we are warming up for the ministerial position. So coming back to the matter.
Yes.
Secondly, President Tinubu talks about state police. Let me also puncture his hypocrisy again. His own Lagos, after Parfashe Rotu's daughter was killed, that all the Southwest governors came together and said, let's form Amotekun. Other states started taking up. His own Lagos said, no. Why will we have Amotekun? We have neighborhood watch. Neighborhood watch, we do the work. They were the first to renege against Amotekun. No, Amotekun is not in Lagos. So you see, I've been able to point out the hypocrisy. That's all I do for a living. I point out hypocrisies of people. I'm not saying it's not good for the president to be able to say this.
Yeah.
But you see, let's back it up with action. You see, what makes a true democrat is when you say something, even if it affects you, concede and let that thing go through.
Right.
So if he says we have state police, he doesn't need to tweak a lot.
Yeah.
Amotekun is already there.
Right.
Most of the states have a seeming resemblance of the state police. So let's just make it happen. But let's even start by even having Amotekun in Lagos.
In the southeast, there are a few.
Continue, I beg, Jerry.
As we talk about security and state police, in the backdrop of all of this, the federal government yesterday also announced that they officially reopened all 47 Unity schools that shut down last month, affirming parents that their students would be safe. Now, the announcement came in a statement from the spokesperson of the Federal Ministry of Education, saying in part that after the strengthening of security architecture within and around affected schools, academic activities have fully resumed. So, bottom line is that kids are now back in school, and that is a positive development. But there's still a level of ambiguity as to what exactly this strengthened security looks like, also from a less tangible perspective. How have the schools mentally prepared students to actually come back? Because there might be a level of fear, right, Ayo?
Yes, thank you very much for that question, Anyeze. It's great to see students back in school. I'd said earlier that this act of banditry, kidnapping, terrorism is a threat to education in Nigeria. And it's quite sad that it's also happening in a region that's already affected by low uptake of education by young people, by students. We know that in the northern region, they have the largest out-of-school children in Nigeria, and Nigeria constitutes or has the number of the largest out-of-school children in the world by United Nations statistics. Now, having said that, the schools are back. But the bigger question is, number one is, what's the confidence, or what confidence should parents or guardians have to send these students back to school? Not a lot has been done, at least to our knowledge. Number one, those who perpetrated the kidnappings in some of these regions haven't been brought to the book. They are still at large. At least to our knowledge, no arrests have been made. So it means, Annie, that they can come back again and do it again. I don't want to raise alarm and let people be scared, but what we're asking for is just a concerted effort by the administration to protect our children. I'm still raising the fact that 165 out of the total abductees from the Kebbi school are still in captivity. These are young children. If you see the age and the class, nursery school, primary school, if this is not a cause for concern, then there's a problem here. So we still have school students still in captivity, and you're telling parents to take their children back to school without any show of what has happened differently. This also raises a question of the Safe School Initiative. Following the recent abductions, this has come up in conversation, and even the Senate has called for an investigation into the about $30 million that was raised in 2014. Remember, after the Chibok girls were kidnapped, there was a whole call around a Safe School Initiative. Let us ensure that schools are safer, especially in the north. And so a lot of rallying round came about, and money was raised by the federal government, foreign donors, a few other people, private institutions. Where is the money now? So once the abductions reduced, everything went quiet. Now that it has resurfaced, we're now going back to ask the question, if perhaps the money was used for what it was raised for, maybe we will not be talking about students being abducted today in 2025, 11 years later. So there are a lot of questions to be asked. I'm for education. I think education has been under threat, and our students need to go back to school because we are lagging behind, not just on the African continent, but globally.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand is that security above education. That's the truth. We don't want to send students to school that would be at risk of being abducted, and are making campaigns, please bring them back. So that's the question. I think the government there needs to be a lot more assurance, a lot more confidence building by working, not just by rhetoric, but by actually showing that this is what we have done to ensure that your children are safe in schools.
Absolutely. So we'll take our next story with the senator representing Edo North, Adams Oshiomhole, saying that he celebrated the resignation of Faruk Ahmed, the CEO of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, who, as we know, stepped down earlier this week. So the comments from the senator came on Thursday during a screening of nominees to replace Ahmed, as well as the CEO of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. And speaking very passionately, Oshiomhole made it clear that he supported Ahmed's resignation, saying, and I quote, "If you don't hang him, he will hang Nigeria." Let's watch.
And your predecessor that was removed, and I celebrated it last night, he needed to be hanged. In my previous statement, I said, if we don't hang him, he will hang Nigeria. Because anyone who is opposed to jobs being created in Nigeria, who prefer importation, importing poverty here, and exporting our prosperity abroad, do not deserve to live. I want to see how his case will be pursued to conclusion. But I want to congratulate you, and more importantly, salute our president for acting properly without allowing for a vacuum. And I'm still going to drink tonight because of the removal of Faruk.
Some very strong words there. And as a reminder, Ahmed had resigned after a public clash with Aliko Dangote, the president of the Dangote Group, who accused Ahmed of corruption and of meddling with the domestic refining industry. But any way that you look at it, those were some very strong words that we heard. Were you surprised by what we heard from the senator?
I'm sorry, I'm not surprised by what I hear from any senator in Nigeria again. I mean, yes, okay, strong words. I think it was very strong and all of that. But he has a very strong point. We should not condone corruption. You see, Nigeria is so corrupt these days that when you hear the kind of allegations against regulators, that are public officials, you shudder in righteous disbelief of what is going on in the country. So we shouldn't even be hearing it in the first place. But I think on the flip side, what I'm more concerned about is Dangote has evidence that this country needs based on his assertion, because he who alleges must prove. And what I have seen, I might be wrong on this, Dr. Abati. I don't know everything. I'm not like Octopus, Dr. Reuben Abati, that can predict that President Tinubu will win the next election, hands down.
Based on trends.
Based on trends. I don't predict. That's why I say, correct me if I'm wrong. What I see is that we are quickly sweeping this case under the carpet. That once Faruk has resigned, it's all gone. And that should not be the order of the day, because if that happens, it will be a case of when the juggernaut fights, they go to the court of public opinion, they rile us up, gain our sympathy, but the corruption is not fought to a standstill. So I would like to beg Honorable Whistleblower Alhaji Aliko Dangote, please cooperate with the ICPC. let us all champion it. If Faruk spent 6 million on his kids, I want to see evidence. Even when the ICPC gets the evidence, let us also make it in public space. If the ICPC is not doing enough, you can go further. Maybe you bought newspaper pages to be able to expose him in the first place. You can also buy newspaper pages and show the transaction. Even if it's, I'm just asking for 1 or 2. Just 1 or 2. So that at least we see the line item with empirical facts. So that we are not left in the dark. Because it looks as though once the matter has been settled now, then they take it out of the Nigerian sphere. That's just my own. So, because that's the way we fight corruption. Because I just hope this matter will not be like off the mic again. Only to think that even before he resigned, the National Assembly were already saying we'll call both parties. And you know, once any matter entered the rubber stamp National Dr. Abati. C'est fini là-bas.
Okay, let me say Dr. Abati, then you can wrap up.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just a quick points that for you to be asking for this, you have to also understand the motive for why he actually went on this crusade. I believe it was more a fight against, they had spats around, the regulator and his Dangote refinery, and that has been in the offing for a while. So I don't think Alhaji Dangote was doing it because he wanted to fight corruption, which unfortunately is sad. But if he wants to prove that what he was doing was anti-corruption, then when ICPC, because the onus is on ICPC to investigate, and then when they call for evidence, Alhaji Dangote can then present his evidence. I don't think he needs to show us the evidence. What he needs to do is to show the investigating authority and for them to act, most importantly. But I doubt that, and the reason I'm saying that
you know why I asked for the evidence?
The reason
I'm sorry, with due respect. I don't trust the investigating authorities.
Okay, well, until then.
I don't.
We have to give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's not even only
until
me.
Then.
Kevin, Dr. Abati, you remember Kevin made that point to you that we don't also trust the investigation. So that's why I say if Dangote can bring it, because at first, Dangote did not write a petition. Sorry to cut you now. He didn't write a petition to ICPC at first.
So
he brought it to us in the court of public opinion by putting it in the newspaper. So he must continue with us and show us the evidence. That's why I'm asking the evidence.
On this point, just to respond to that. If he says that, okay, you're saying ICPC wouldn't act, which I believe that we shouldn't encourage, we should put pressure on ICPC to act. Because if he indeed brings out the proof for us Nigerians, public opinion, nothing will still be done. And so it still defeats the purpose.
People can actually take it to court. Then it becomes justiciable. People can now take it to court. And any lawyer somewhere
what I'm asking for
can go to file a case on
it.
Very quickly.
No. There are issues. The first thing is that this was at the confirmation hearing for Mrs. Urisemeyiwa Eyison and also Engineer Mohammed. Madam Eyison is the one going to NUPRC. The other person, Engineer Mohammed, is the one going to NMDPRA. And as for Madam Eyison, Senator Oshiomhole commended the idea of women empowerment. That that it was good that President Tinubu is looking at women for strategic positions. And then for Engineer Mohammed, and both of them, he spoke about public policy. That beyond women empowerment, what is more important is what you will do with the kind of policies that you come up with. And it was on that curve that he then started talking about Faruk Ahmed, whom he said should be hanged. Well, I don't know whether under the rules of privilege, senators of Nigeria now can summarily execute human beings and say that, you are entitled to, you are due for extrajudicial killing. That responsibility belongs to the court of law. But out of passion, I guess Senator Oshiomhole said, this is a person that should be hanged because of what he has done. And it was very clear that he thought that Faruk Ahmed was a very, very bad choice for the office of the DG of the NMD PRA. But I don't think, senators should give judgments as to whether people should live or die. What we can say specifically is that the issues have been raised by Alhaji Aliko Dangote and perhaps others will come up with other issues. It is the ICPC that is the statutory body that can investigate. And what we can say is that ICPC should not drop this matter because it is a matter of public interest. We would like all the allegations to be investigated, and the person who has alleged should also provide proof. Now, the other issue there was that Senator Adams Oshiomhole said he has been drinking and celebrating
his resignation.
Is that an issue for the ethics committee for a senator to say, I've been drinking in celebration? He even said he will continue drinking, that Faruk Ahmed has been removed because the man is not supporting job creation, manufacturing in Nigeria.
Right.
And that he thinks, which is the biggest point that he made, that local jobs, local manufacturing, job creation, opportunities for Nigerians, national interests should be defended. And that no public official should use his or her position to sabotage Nigeria. And it was in that regard that he came across being a pro Dangote refinery. And I would like to end by saying that Alhaji Aliko Dangote, seeing that Senator Oshiomhole likes to celebrate, should send him more drinks for this weekend for celebration. And the drinks should be accompanied with prayers. Special prayers. My recommendation. It's a recommendation. So that he can continue to celebrate.
And on that note,
you don't want the senator, the senator to celebrate.
Why did you say prayers?
Yes.